One of America's most notorious serial killers, Ted Bundy, was also a law student, a suicide hotline volunteer, and a charming man who seemed to have a promising future. The name Ted Bundy often sends a shiver down the spine, invoking images of a notorious killer. However, this image stands in stark contrast to the Bundy the world once knew. A man of high intelligence, Bundy was a law student who was well liked by those around him. His charm was magnetic, drawing people towards him with an ease that was almost eerie in hindsight. Bundy was not just a law student, he was a suicide hotline volunteer, offering help and support to those in their darkest hours. He painted a picture of a man who seemed to have a promising future, a man who had the world at his fingertips. But beneath this facade, there was something much darker. A monster lurked, hidden behind a well-crafted mask of normalcy. A monster that would soon terrorize America. But beneath this facade lurked a monster that would terrorize America. Born Theodore Robert Cowell in 1946, Bundy's early life was far from ordinary. He grew up in an environment of lies and secrecy, which would later become a playground for his deviant tendencies. Bundy's initial years were spent under the impression that his grandparents were his parents and his mother, his sister. The truth was hidden to avoid the stigma of illegitimacy, a lie that would later strike a devastating blow to Bundy's psyche. Raised in Philadelphia by his grandparents, young Bundy exhibited signs of a troubled mind early on. He was described as a shy and introverted child with a fascination for macabre subjects. But it was his discovery of the family secret that truly marked a turning point in his life. Around the age of 15, Bundy stumbled upon his birth certificate, revealing the truth about his parentage. This revelation had a profound impact on him, and he became increasingly detached and sullen. Despite his inner turmoil, Bundy was a model of success on the surface. He was intelligent, charming, and had a promising future, making his transition into a sinister path all the more shocking. But beneath the veneer, Bundy harbored a growing resentment towards women, particularly those who reminded him of his mother. During his late teens, Bundy began to display early signs of sociopathy. He was a peeping Tom, invading the privacy of unsuspecting women. He also exhibited a twisted sense of entitlement and lack of empathy, hallmarks of the sociopath. His desire for control and dominance began to take root, a trait that would later manifest in his violent acts. Theodore Bundy's life was a complex web of lies, deceit, and hidden rage. His early years were a perfect storm, shaping a man who would become one of America's most notorious serial killers. These early years, shrouded in confusion and deception, would shape the monster Bundy would become. The year 1974 marked the beginning of Bundy's reign of terror. It was in this year that the world was introduced to a new kind of evil, one that was masked by an alluring charm and good looks. Bundy's first known victims were young, attractive women, typically with long, dark hair parted in the middle. It was a specific type he seemed to target, a chilling detail that would later become a significant part of his notorious legacy. His modus operandi was as chilling as it was cunning. Bundy would often feign injury or disability, using a cast or crutches to appear harmless. He would then approach his potential victims with a request for help, like loading something into his car. It was this seemingly innocent request that would lure these unsuspecting women into his grasp. Bundy's reign of terror would not go unchecked forever. In 1975, Bundy found himself in the grip of the law for the first time. He was arrested in Utah for a minor traffic violation, but a search of his vehicle unearthed suspicious items that ultimately led to his capture. The police found a crowbar, a ski mask, rope, and handcuffs, among other things. Bundy's facade of normalcy began to crumble, and the mask of the monster underneath began to show. But Bundy was far from finished. He was not only a ruthless killer, but also a cunning manipulator. During his trial in 1977, he seized an opportunity and made a daring escape. While preparing his defense in the law library, Bundy jumped from a second-story window and fled. For 6 days, he managed to elude law enforcement, sowing panic in the community once again. However, his freedom was short-lived. Bundy was recaptured, but the cunning predator was not so easily caged. In December of the same year, Bundy executed a second more audacious escape. This time he managed to slip out of his cell by losing weight and squeezing through a small hole in the ceiling. Bundy was a free man again, and his reign of terror resumed, this time heading towards Florida. In Florida, Bundy's crimes escalated in brutality, culminating in the infamous Chi Omega sorority house murders. However, his time was running out. In February of 1978, Bundy was arrested for the final time. This time, there would be no escapes. Bundy's daring jailbreaks were a testament to his cunning and manipulation. They added a chilling layer to his already terrifying persona, making him one of the most notorious criminals in history. His audacious escapes only served to heighten the fear and fascination surrounding this notorious criminal. Finally, in 1979, America watched as Ted Bundy was put on trial. The legal proceedings quickly turned into a media circus, as the nation found itself both repulsed and fascinated by the horrendous acts committed by this seemingly charming and intelligent man. The cameras rolled, capturing every moment of one of the most publicized trials in American history. Bundy, in an audacious move, chose to represent himself in court. This decision, while unusual, was not entirely surprising. Bundy was known for his manipulative charm and high intellect. He believed he could outsmart the legal system, just as he had done with his victims. Throughout the trial, Bundy exhibited a chilling confidence, often smiling at the cameras and even making light of his situation. He cross-examined witnesses, challenged the prosecution's evidence, and presented his own theories. All the while, he maintained his innocence, in spite of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The jury, however, was not swayed by Bundy's theatrics. After weeks of testimony and deliberation, they returned with a guilty verdict. Bundy was sentenced to death for the heinous crimes he had committed. The execution was set for 1989, a full decade after the trial began. Despite numerous appeals and attempts to delay the inevitable, Bundy's fate was sealed. As the date approached, there was a palpable sense of relief mixed with dread. The end was near, but so was the grim reality of what had to be done. On the morning of January 24th, Bundy was led to the electric chair. His last words were a quiet confession to his crimes, a chilling reminder of the man behind the charm. As the current surged, the nation watched, caught between the desire for justice and the horror of its delivery. On January 24th, 1989, the life of one of America's most notorious serial killers came to an end. Yet even in death, Ted Bundy continues to cast a dark shadow over the annals of true crime, a grim reminder of the evil that can lurk beneath the most unassuming of facades. Ted Bundy, a name synonymous with evil, has left a chilling legacy. His heinous deeds have seeped into the very fabric of our culture, becoming the stuff of nightmares and inspiring a slew of true crime books and films. Titles such as The Stranger Beside Me and Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile have delved into the twisted psyche of this man, captivating and horrifying us in equal measure. But Bundy's legacy isn't confined to the realm of entertainment. His case has been instrumental in shaping modern investigative techniques. His ability to blend into society, to charm and manipulate, led to a significant shift in how we perceive and profile criminals. Perhaps most importantly, Bundy's story serves as a stark reminder of the evil that can lurk beneath a veneer of charm and good looks. Even in death, the name Ted Bundy continues to haunt us, a chilling reminder of the monsters that can hide behind a charming smile.